To be honest, I am just so excited to be here. I'm from the Midwest. I'm so excited. Like when I say that I am refreshed and I am motivated, and I just like kind of feel like my spark is back. Everyone thinks I've been feisty. You've not even seen the feisty side of me yet. So this should be really fun. I didn't come here for the spotlight. I didn't come here to have more eyes. I came here to win.
The WNBA tried to silence Sophie Cunningham with a $400 fine. But what happened next? It backfired so badly that Sophie walked away with millions and a brand new army of fans.
I don't care what you say. Let's go wrong for wrong. Let's go leg for leg. Can't keep my hands to myself.
Why did the league think they could shut her down? And how did one hard foul flip the entire WNBA narrative upside down? Stick around. This changes everything.
All right, let's go to the next story of Sophie Cunningham. I will say this. She's bad to the bone. And not only is she bad to the bone, and I'll say two things to read she's bad to the bone. And I'm married and my wife is the greatest woman to ever live. But I will say that when you are good at basketball, you're pretty, and you got grit, those three things make you bad to the bone. And I think this is one of it's new trends that's going on in the WNBA, in my personal opinion, is that not only will you be good at basketball, but you also, some of these women don't look like women, right? And you still look like dudes.
It all started on June 17th, 2025. The Indiana Fever were dominating the Connecticut Sun.
For Hull, little two-man game, and Hull sinks the triple. Clark launches and hits. And a finish. Clark to a double team. Boston extra pass. Howard hangs, and Howard lays it in. Deep three from Sheboygan. Life is easier from the logo for Caitlin Clark. Retreating, firing, and hitting. So she can do that.
Caitlin Clark had been taking abuse all game, again, and the refs just kept swallowing their whistles. Then it happened. A poke to the eye from J.C. Sheldon, a shove to the floor by Marina Mabry. The Fever had enough.
I think in the face. That's what Clark didn't like. And Mabry came.
It's contact to the face as well. It'd be interesting to know if they're going to look at.
And Sophie Cunningham. She wasn't about to stay quiet. With 46 seconds left, Cunningham stormed in and dragged Sheldon to the ground.
Caitlin Clark in this particular game kept complaining that she was like scratching her arm and complained to the officials about it. And honestly, the entire game, they were jawing at each other. They were chirping at each other. Marina Mabry always on the side, coming to her teammates' defense because we all know Marina Mabry. But really, the boiling point was Sophie Cunningham's hard foul on J.C. Sheldon. And I truly think that this was a message that she was sending to the leagues, to the officiating, just like to everybody, because it is, if you are watching any of these games, you are seeing that there is a disparity in the way that it's being officiated, and the Indiana Fever are held to a standard that no other team is held to.
It wasn't pretty, it wasn't polite, it was personal. Cunningham got a flagrant 2, a $400 fine, and an undisclosed second penalty for the scuffle. The WNBA wanted to sweep it under the rug.
But let me say this. Sophie, who's my one of my favorites now. She's become one of my favorite WNBA players. I'm gonna watch her too, like I watch Caitlin. Look at what she did. And this and people may not say that this was in response or whatever the case may be, but I feel like Sophie is like, you want to play? We can play.
But Sophie had other plans. She faced the media with fire in her eyes and said, it was a buildup. The league hasn't been protecting the star player of the WNBA, so I will.
And you know what? During that, it was just part of the game. I think the refs had a lot to do with that. It was a build-up for a couple of years now of them just not protecting, the star player of the WNBA. And so, at the end of the day, I'm going to protect my teammates. That's what I do, and I'm a team player, so it's all good.
Fans went wild. Twitter blew up. TikTok caught fire. Her jersey sold out. Her followers tripled. Sophie Cunningham became a legend overnight.
Lads, Sophie Cunningham already was a popular player from the Fever. And I mean this when I say this, like, Sophie Cunningham was signed as an enforcer. She was signed and everyone was talking about her being an enforcer. And with that being said, yeah, her jersey just sold out. Sophie Cunningham's jersey has sold out. I repeat, the Sophie Cunningham Fever jersey has sold out. Like, you can't buy.
All for doing what no one else had the guts to do: stand up for Caitlin Clark. And it wasn't just a media moment, it was a movement. The numbers tell the story. When Caitlin Clark missed games in June due to a minor injury, rumored to be caused by the physical toll, WNBA ratings crashed by 55%. Ticket sales nosedived by 30% in some cities. This wasn't a team problem, it was a league-wide crisis. Clark is the WNBA's economic engine. She's the reason for the $200 million media deal, the reason games hit 9.9 million viewers, the reason arenas sell out. But the league had a problem. They weren't protecting her. And players like Cunningham noticed. Sophie, nicknamed Spicy Sophie for her aggressive style, brought more than just grit to the court. She brought a black belt in Taekwondo and a fearless attitude. And while the league handed her a fine, fans handed her their loyalty. In just 2 days, Sophie's TikTok shot from 400,000 to over 1.2 million. Her Instagram gained 350,000 new followers. Experts estimate that kind of social media growth would cost a brand over $1 million. And it didn't stop there. Her jersey sold out. Her sponsored post rates doubled. New deals came flying in from Adidas, Quest Nutrition, and more. Sophie turned a minor fine into a multi-million-dollar boost. And the irony, the WNBA accidentally helped her get there. They underestimated the power of backlash. They underestimated the fans' anger. They underestimated Sophie Cunningham. The WNBA's mistake wasn't just the fine, it was thinking fans wouldn't notice their silence.
Let me show you what it is. Now, hey, I'm not for the violence, you know what I'm saying? But I am for you saying, if y'all want to get busy out here, we can get busy out here.
Veterans like Alyssa Thomas,
Offensive foul, Alyssa Thomas. Let's head the other direction.
Kennedy Carter,
Good. Kennedy Carter now with 12 points off the bench.
and Jonquel Jones had all taken swings at Clark. Refs missed the calls. The league shrugged it off, but Sophie didn't. She exposed what fans had been screaming about for months. The WNBA isn't protecting its biggest star. And here's the twist that seals it. While a petition with over 300 signatures called for Sophie to be banned from the league, that hate only made her more popular. She leaned into it, made TikToks, smiled through the drama, and emerged as Clark's enforcer, the protector the league refused to be. And that's when everything changed. The Indiana Fever's record improved. Clark focused more on her game. Cunningham became a vital piece of the team's playoff push. So let's be clear. The WNBA tried to punish Sophie Cunningham, but instead, they created a folk hero. They handed her a viral brand. They gave her a national spotlight. And all it cost her was $400. So who really paid the price? Because while the league continues to stumble through public relations disasters, Sophie is cashing in and standing tall as the enforcer the fans were begging for. What do you think? Was Sophie Cunningham out of line? Or did the WNBA finally get what it deserved? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit that like button if you're backing Sophie. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories the league doesn't want you to hear. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
They tried to gang up on me with 3 players because I cooked their whole squad, and I had to let their bench know after I hit that 3-pointer to shut their asses up. I just want to say that Marina Mabre is a bum, and I own her. She shoved me like that was going to change the score. She was out there putting up Angel Reese stats with her 6 points and 8 rebounds. She needs to relax.
JC Sheldon exploded after the WNBA finally punished Caitlin Clark's attacker, and that's not an exaggeration. One eye poke, one brutal takedown, and the entire league lit up. The so-called punishment, just a flagrant one. And Sheldon, she was furious.
When you are good at basketball, you're pretty, and you got grit, those 3 things make you bad to the bone. And I think this is one of the new trends that's going on in the WNBA, in my personal opinion, is that not only will you be good at basketball, but you also, some of these women will look like women, right? They used to look like dudes, but now they look like beautiful women that are playing basketball.
But is this just about one foul? Or is something much bigger unraveling in the WNBA?
What are your thoughts? I don't think we've asked you this about the WNBA as a whole, the moment they're having right now, in Caitlin and kind of this new era seemingly of women's basketball.
I love it. I love competitiveness. I think it's great for the game. I think when people watch basketball and they think of basketball being physical, being competitive, being a little chippy, they think about us. But I think W is just as competitive and maybe even more chippy. You know what I mean?
Something that could collapse everything it's built around Caitlin Clark. Because if the league thought the $2,000 fine was enough, they seriously misread the room. It was supposed to be a routine possession, just another defensive rotation between Indiana Fever and the Connecticut Sun. But when J.C. Sheldon stepped up to guard Caitlin Clark, it turned into something much uglier. Sheldon didn't just reach in, her hand went straight for Clark's face and poked her directly in the eye.
What really got this escalated, so that was called a flagrant.
The crowd gasped. Clark stumbled backward, clutching her face, clearly in pain. And yet, no ejection, no warning, just a flagrant one.
The ball is so far away. Like, the ball is here. The ball is here. The ball is here. How did she double eye poker? The ball is here. Like, how did the referees watch this and come to the conclusion that it was a flagrant one? How did they come to the conclusion it was a flagrant, not a flagrant two? Like, how did they come to the conclusion that it is a flagrant and not a flagrant two? I would have had more respect if they said it was a no call, because they could at least feign ignorance.
A foul labeled unnecessary contact, but not enough to suggest intent. That's it. And for Sheldon, a $2,000 fine. You might think it ends there, but it didn't. Moments later, Sheldon grabbed Clark's arm and, according to slowed replay footage, dug her nails into her skin.
And Caitlin Clark in this particular game kept complaining that she was like scratching her arm and complained to the officials about it. And honestly, the entire game, they were jawing at each other. They were chirping at each other. Marina Mabry always on the side, coming to her teammates' defense.
And then, as Clark reeled, Marina Mabry came flying in, shoving her to the ground like it was a wrestling ring.
As you guys can see here, J.C. Sheldon is guarding Caitlin Clark. She swipes her in the eyeball. Caitlin Clark nudges her off because J.C. stays in her face. And then Tina Charles runs over and is kind of wagging her finger in Caitlin Clark's face. And then Marina Mabry comes out of nowhere and chucks her to the floor. Now let's watch this in slow motion. Here, J.C. Sheldon is guarding Caitlin, swipes her in the face. There's one. Going for the ball, swipes her in the eyeball. Caitlin's gonna have to start wearing goggles. And then Caitlin pushes her off of her, like, why are you still in my face? Marina Mabry, bad out of hell, chucks Caitlin Clark to the ground.
Clark wasn't just getting fouled, she was being targeted, and no one was protecting her. Within hours, hashtags like Ban J.C. Sheldon were trending. Fans flooded Sheldon's socials, calling it the dirtiest play of the year. One video of the incident hit over 1 million views in a day. The caption, "This isn't basketball, it's a disgrace." Jimmy Fallon asked on his show, "What's going on in the WNBA? Protect Caitlin Clark at all costs."
What is going on? Protect Caitlin Clark at all costs, please. Enough of this. Please.
Dave Portnoy didn't hold back either, calling Sheldon and Mabry jealous loser punks. Even late-night hosts and sports journalists were openly comparing the WNBA to WWE, saying the league was turning into a sideshow. And when Sheldon wasn't suspended, when the league handed down just a fine and moved on, fans weren't just mad, they were furious. Because this wasn't the first time. It's part of a pattern. Clark has been shoved, undercut, elbowed, and now poked in the eye again. And every time, the referees look the other way, the league shrugs, and Clark's left to defend herself.
What was going on with the chipping? Is there an explanation were you given for the tech that you got?
I'll take the official questions.
there wasn't an explanation for the tech that she got. I think it was pretty obvious that stuff was brewing, right? When the officials don't get control of the ball game, when they allow that stuff to happen, and it's been happening all season long. All season long. It's not just this game, it's been happening all season long. This is what happens, right? This is what happens. You've got competitive women who are the best in the world at what they do, right? And when you allow them to play physical and you allow these things to happen, they're going to compete. And they're going to have their teammates' backs. It's exactly what you expect, right? Out of fierce competition.
But here's why that's a massive problem. Caitlin Clark isn't just a rookie. She's the face of the WNBA. According to finance expert Dr. Ryan Brewer, Clark accounted for 26.5% of the league's entire economic activity in her rookie season. That's one player driving over a quarter of the league's revenue. Let that sink in. The Indiana Fever went from being a low-attendance team to selling out arenas overnight, all because of Clark. Their franchise value jumped from $90 million to $340 million in just one season. She's not just selling tickets. She's breaking records, moving merch, and pulling in viewers who've never watched a WNBA game before. And yet, she's being treated like a disposable rookie, shoved to the ground, poked in the eye, and left unprotected. Fans aren't having it. They're asking, would the NBA ever let this happen to LeBron James or Steph Curry? If a player blindsided LeBron, poked him in the eye, and slammed him to the ground, would that player still be on the court? Exactly. But then the unexpected happened. JC Sheldon snapped. After the punishment was announced, Sheldon was seen storming off the court, slamming her water bottle and refusing interviews. Sources close to the team say she was overheard saying, "This is a joke. They're throwing me under the bus." To Sheldon, this wasn't just a fine. It was a character assassination. She felt like the league made her a scapegoat to protect their golden ticket. And maybe she's not wrong, because now Sheldon is trending. For all the wrong reasons. She's being painted as the villain, the cheap shot artist, the symbol of everything wrong with how the WNBA treats its stars. And she's not the only one lashing out. Other players have stayed silent. But behind the scenes, the resentment is growing. Some believe the league is bending everything around Clark, from the rest to the media spotlight. In Sheldon's eyes, the league is picking sides, and it's not hers. Meanwhile, the fans are escalating fast. One online petition calling for Sheldon's suspension and salary dock gained over 25,000 signatures in 48 hours. Others are tagging NBA Commissioner Adam Silver, begging him to step in since, quote, the WNBA commissioner won't. Fans want more than just suspensions. They're calling for multi-game bans for flagrant acts against high-profile players, automatic ejections for hits to the face, fines tied to salary percentages, not flat fees, and referee accountability reviews tracked publicly. Quoted, some even suggested fines be paid directly to the victim, in this case, Caitlin Clark. Because the current system, it's not working. And if the WNBA keeps ignoring it, fans say they'll stop watching altogether. This isn't just about JC Sheldon. This isn't even just about Caitlin Clark. This is about whether the WNBA is willing to protect the very thing that's keeping it alive. Because if this keeps happening, if Clark gets seriously injured or decides she's had enough, the league won't just lose a player. It'll lose its biggest draw, its biggest revenue stream, and possibly its future. And Sheldon? She just became the lightning rod for all of it. Her outburst proves what fans have suspected for weeks. The locker rooms are divided, the players are on edge, and the league is playing with fire. The WNBA is at a crossroads. One path leads to stricter rules, better protection for players, and a serious investment in the league's future. The other leads straight into chaos, where stars like Clark walk away, fans check out, and sponsors pull back. Right now, everything hangs in the balance. So the real question is, will the WNBA step up before it's too late? This isn't just basketball anymore. It's personal, it's political, and it's high-stakes business. So, is JC Sheldon the villain in all of this? Or is she just the latest casualty in a league that's lost control? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you're fired up about how this league is being run, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because trust me, the drama is only just getting started.